there, where you going? No, man, you got the right classroom. Come on in, take a seat beside me, my friend. Hey, look, here come T.A. Charlie. Let's see what he got to say.
Welcome to the Road to Concord with Professor Joe Bakanovic. Homeroom is on Rumble. You just go to Rumble and search the channels for the Road to Concord. It's one word. When you find it, you go ahead and you click follow. It might mean you got to set up an account, but it's fast, it's easy, it's free. I did it. You can do it. For those technologically challenged members of the class, you can also catch us on Facebook and YouTube. After the show, it's uploaded to Podbean, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Just look for the Road to Concord. You can go to the blog page. That's theroadtoconcord.com. That's where you'll find all your show notes, study notes, and handouts for the class. The phone is working. If you don't know how to call in, just email us and we'll think about it. Finally, you can email a professor at joe@theroadtoconcord.com. He's a little slow, but he'll eventually get around to emailing you back. This show is currently mainly listener sponsored. If you are interested in advertising your business on the show, just email us. With that said, we ask for your participation on a value for value basis. If you find the show of value to you, then you provide an equivalent portion of your labor and treasure through the donate link on the Road to Concord blog page, the show description on Rumble, and in the comments on the other streams. And thank you to all of those who have and will support this show.
Hey, we all know T.A. Charlie isn't all there. Now, just stay seated and give it a chance. You'll soon realize we not might be the smartest, but we each independently form opinions based on
I love the
reason
tortoise.
and logic. We're free thinkers. Let's see what the Road to Concord with Professor Joe Bakanovic has on the lesson plan for today.
Epstein! You know he didn't kill himself, right? Oh, got a video, says he did. No, you don't. No. The video has been doctored. And this time, it's not doctored by Hydra. This time, doctored by the Trump administration. This is perfect. MAGA has now fallen into our trap. Hi, boys and girls. It is I, Dr. Evil. I want to talk to you about, it's really so unpolite to say I told you so, but I told you so. If y'all remember back, assuming that you've been with us long enough and assuming that, you haven't memory holed it, and if you have, you can dig it back up out of your file. It's just, you know how to spell assume these day and age, asking people to remember things. But back during the election, I said I was going to vote for Trump on the off chance that he is actually going to be what he's presenting himself to be. And then I also, Natasha, get your boyfriend in line. If I want to have donuts, I can have donuts. But I am now 3 weeks, somewhere in the neighborhood, somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks without processed sugar. Maybe that's the problem, is I don't have enough of it. Anyhow.
That's a lie. It's a lie.
Processed sugar.
I saw you partaking on Shabbat of items that contained processed sugar. So
no,
that's a lie.
No. Are you calling Julie a liar? She told me there was no processed sugar in there. It was the unprocessed raw sugar that she used.
That is still processed sugar.
No, it isn't. All they do is they put the cane in the press, they squeeze it out, they crystallize it, and they sell it to you. That's natural. That's the same. No, processed means it's been washed with bones to bleach it.
Yeah. Oh, she uses like the natural.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Which is the same stuff you would get by putting the cane sugar in the cane in your mouth.
Okay. Well, maybe
if Yahweh grew it, it's natural.
Snake venom is natural too.
Away with you. So, anyhow, back to Dr. Evil. Back in the election, I said that I had serious reservations about Donald Trump, and that I was worried that, because he's still not ideological, that things might go sideways. Well, the Trump train is falling off the rails, and MAGA is eating itself. Sort of kind of like I predicted would probably happen. And we're what? Not even a full year into this thing yet. And this is a day when, if you're MAGA, you're going to hate me. You know what? Look into my eye. I don't care, because this stuff has to be said. I'm going to use the Epstein mess and to teach the point of today's show is not what you think it is. I'm not Donald bashing. I'm not MAGA bashing. It's going to sound like it because you're going to miss the forest for the tree. That's all you're going to focus on, and you're going to miss the point I'm actually making. I will get to the point toward the end of the show, and not until then. We'll see if anybody figures this out. But because Mr. Trump is not ideological, he's all about Mr. Trump. He and I'm not calling him president. He gave that to the courts. He's going to have to grow a pair and go take his presidency back from the courts before I start calling him President Trump again. So right now he's Mr. Trump. Well, Joe, he's got to do. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. We've covered that on this show before. No, he doesn't. Especially now. The lower courts are clearly in bad behavior while they defy the Supreme Court. The United States court system, 1/3 of our federal system has fallen into, it's done. It's toast. It's in chaos. Oh, which means that the executive is now in chaos and Congress has been in chaos. You no longer have a federal government. You got a cabal of people fighting to exert their will over everybody else. Law be damned. The only reason they invoke the law is when they want to get rid of us peons, these minions. If you belong in their circle and you get mad, they run you through a trial with a jury that's going to acquit you of the major portions of the crimes so that we can give you time served, slap on the wrist, some fines, and we stick you back out to continue molesting. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That's the P. Diddy trial, not the Epstein thing. So where do we want to start today? Where should we start? Where do we start with all of this? Oh, man, it's such a target-rich environment. Well, let me explain to you, first of all, what's going on right now today. It's very simple. If you understand the process. I fell for it once before. So we're here now. And this is a picture of Zurg or Zorg or whatever from The Fifth Element toward the end of the movie. And he says, I know this music. You know, when everything's falling apart, there's bomb warning and they're about to blow up the spaceship, you know, whatever. And he comes back in to try and stop it. Yeah, he understands. He's been here before. So have I. So have you. Where have you been here before? Right there. Follow the white rabbit. QAnon. That was a psyop. Sucked me in, hook, line, and sinker. Sucked in a lot of my conservative friends. I ain't falling for it again because I see the patterns repeating right now with the Epstein thing. We're all being retconned and gaslit, and MAGA is soaking it. I mean, yum, baby. They just eating that cereal up as fast as Mr. Trump can pour the cereal in the bowl. They're just gobbling it down. I'm not going to do that. Nope. I got a memory. I still have 1 or 2 functioning kidney cells up here between these ears. Kidneys, it's an old joke from my childhood. I had a friend of mine that would go, you know, when you say, well, that was pretty smart, Matt, he'd go, kidneys. So anyhow, inside joke. So why am I worried about QAnon? What's that got to do with anything? That was a psyop intended to get those people who might actually do something about the theft of the 2020 election to sit still long enough for them to secure their theft. And they did. And then after that, the people who were inclined to challenge it, and they went to they were motivated enough to go to the Capitol, they got charged with a false flag insurrection charges on January 6th. It's all about control, folks. It's all about control and optics. And you're in one giant, it's a video game. You're in the Matrix. You're in the Matrix, baby girl, baby boy. Can you see it? That's the question. Can you see it? Can you see the pattern? I don't know. A lot of people can't anymore. So Gateway Pundit, it says, watch, Tucker Carlson blasts the absurd Ben Shapiro for urging people to get over Epstein. All right. Ben Shapiro is one of the MAGA all the way guys. Yeah, I would love to debate Ben. He talks fast, but he's fallacious from end to end. He's easy to take apart. He does great damage to his cause in the process because of that. But here, Carlson unloaded on Ben Shapiro during his speech at Turning Point USA Conservative Student Action Summit in Tampa on Friday night for his absurd dismissal of concerns over the Jeffrey Epstein files, accusing him of blindly trusting the government and discouraging tough questions. Tucker Carlson is correct. Now, right now, the MAGA people, the MAGA influencers are out there. Donald, just wait. He's got a plan. Hey, that sounds a lot like QAnon to me. Okay, and the White Rabbit. He's got a plan. Well, so did General Floyd, but they put him in jail for it. So did Giuliani. They put him in jail for it. So did all these people. What was the female lawyer that was with Giuliani that was going to get him too? She went to jail. You know, the My Pillows guy, he's got a plan. They got him. I mean, what plan? What plan? Did you ever see the plan? Well, yeah, Joe, they had a plan. What plan? Show me the plan. They never showed you the plan. There was no plan. It was just meant to get you to sit down and shut up, just like I believe Rush Limbaugh was meant to just get you to stay on the Republican reservation rather than actually follow Ross Perot into an event, you know, something that might have actually done some good for this country eventually. But because, well, if you follow Ross, then the Democrats are going to win. Newsflash for you, no matter whether you vote R or D, the Democrats win, as we're seeing right now. Because the Republicans just passed a bill that's more spending than ever. Have you noticed that? George W. Bush, the Republicans' biggest spending bill in history at that point. Donald Trump, biggest spending bill in history at that point. It's always Republicans that do this, but yet I got to vote D to cut the spending. And now I'm being told by some of these morons, yeah, the plan was Animal Farm. You got that right, Mr. Quest. But now I'm being told by some of these right-wing morons that, well, you know, you can't cut the deficit. So we might as well keep spending deficit because, you know, we'd have to tax things at 150% tariffs and raise income tax to 100%. And we still wouldn't cover the deficit, but, you know, the budget deficit, let alone the budget itself. Oh, so because it's not going to do good enough, you might as well keep doing what's killing you. Okay. I haven't had enough heroin, but give me some more of that there heroin. Let's chase it with some morphine because, you know, I can't get off the drugs, so I might as well do more. And you end up stiff and you assume room temperature. Yeah, I'm not smart. There's a much wiser than I classmate here saying, good morning, Joe. Who loves you, baby? Many do. I just think you're smart. No. Mr. Delanoy, you do much better than I ever have. Anyhow, so Tucker jumps on Ben Shapiro. Joe thinks Tucker's in the right here. Here's another one. Trump mocks reporter. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? OMG. Somebody give me that little field mouse with the bad yellow haircut. I want to thump him on his head. I didn't say President Trump. I didn't even say Trump. Don't send the Secret Service after me. I didn't say I want to hurt him. I just want to bunny foo-foo thump him on his head. Because he was the one talking about Epstein before the election. He ran on it. He's going to expose it. Now, are you still talking about that crap? That right there, boys and girls, is a retcon gaslight. That right there is a slap in his voter's face. Tick me off with you there, Donald. There are very good reasons to be questioning this stuff, and the fact that you're not worried about it and that you're poo-pooing people for being worried about it. Ooh. Can we recall a president? How do we do this? Let's get busy on it. Okay, next story. Wayne Root. While we're all complaining about Epstein decision, folks, logic lesson. This is how you manipulate the reader. While it's called loaded language, it's a fallacy. While we're all complaining about Epstein decision, see, he says we, but he's going to exclude himself. And I'm not reading the stories. The reason I'm not reading the stories today and just the headlines and not the story is because the headlines are where the psyop is taking place. So Wayne Root says, well, I'm one of you complaining about the Epstein decision. See, I'm one of you. I'm complaining. That's a negative language. You know, he could have said, while, you know, if he wanted to be accurate, why those people who are actually principled are questioning the Epstein decisions, that's neutral language. Now, he didn't write it that way. Then he says, President Trump proves once again why he is the greatest president of our lifetime and the only one to ever listen to the people. Mr. Root, that's a lie. I can remember another president who dang well did listen to the people. And I still think the Gipper is greater than Donald. The Gipper got sucked in. He signed over the amnesty bill, and that started the slippery slope into this amnesty thing. They did that knowing that that would start a pattern that would be repeated throughout time over and over and over again. More amnesty, more amnesty. And it has happened. He fell for it. He may have even been part of it. I'm not saying he wasn't. But Ronald Reagan loved this country just as much as Trump claims to love this country. The thing is, Mr. Reagan did it properly, ideologically. For all, he had faults too. I didn't idolize him. It wasn't cult of personality for me and him. But he tried to obey the rules much more than Mr. Trump is doing. And he didn't wishy-wash. I knew what Reagan was going to do. I don't know what Trump is going to do. Why? Well, Trump is unpredictable. No, Trump is unprincipled. The only principle that Mr. Trump has is Mr. Trump. He wants that win. Art of the deal. Get me a win. Look, I got the big, better bill. No, you didn't. It's now a gutted big, better bill. Now all you have is the fat, bloated, the lard of the carcass. Everything that was worth having in that bill. Well, Joe, it got the tax cuts. Why didn't you just pass a tax cut bill? Why do you have to? Well, if I don't put them all together, I can't get them passed. Ah, there we go. Now I got it. You don't have control of your party, Mr. Trump. Well, that's because the party hates him. He's the head of the party. You can do things about this. I've seen the Democrats get out of control before, and all of a sudden they get right back into control. How's that happen? Somebody takes them behind the woodshed and explains the daggum facts of life to them. When's that happened? With the Republicans. Doesn't. He goes, and Trump gets on social media and pleads, make your Republicans do what I tell them to do. You guys keep voting for Republicans. Well, those are rhinos, Joe. No, they're not. They are Republicans. They're the right wing of the Progressive Party, just like Teddy Roosevelt. They've never changed their stripes. You just won't wake yourselves up and pay attention to what the heck you're actually doing. You do not want to stare the monster in the eyeballs. You know why? I'm going to tell you why you don't want to look the monster in the eye. Because you're going to see yourself staring back out at you. You're going to look the monster in the eye and go, ooh, the monster. Oh, crap, that's a mirror. Yes. And remember, if I point at you, I got 3 more pointing back at me, and I freaking know it. So this happened over the weekend. Whoa! Trump gets ratioed for the first time after weighing in on the Bondi-Bongino clash over handling of Epstein documents. Ratioed. He put a post up on Truth Social, and his followers, Trump's followers, bashed him over the head for it. They said, we disagree. You're wrong on this one there, Donald. For the first time, he has found, which means when Donald says, well, we're in the media, the MAGA people say, well, now we're weeding out all these false MAGA social, the influencers and everything. What they mean is conservative talking heads. See, they were never MAGA to begin with. Oh, yes, they were. They're just principled. Well, yeah, you're right. They were never MAGA. They were principled conservatives. They're not following the man. They're following what should be principles. MAGA has always been, and this is what I feared it was, it's always been a cult of personality. Steve Deace has this right. Cheeto Jesus saves, meaning Trump, the orange man. He can do no wrong. And if you think he's doing wrong, it's you. You were never MAGA. Well, you're just not black enough, or you're just not liberal enough. You're just not Antifa enough. How is it that the right can see it when the left does it, but can't see it when they do it? It's easy. You're not principled. You are the same thing as the left that you're accusing. You're just the right wing of that bird. The other side of the coin. You're a progressive. Because Trump's doing progressive things right now. So he got ratioed over that. His followers are not happy with him. See what else we got here, if I can get my mouse to function properly. Next one. There are over 11,571 Epstein documents currently on appeal in just one Freedom of Information case with Maureen Comey involved. I don't know if you've been following. There's the court document right there, the filing. So what we have here is, well, there's no black book in there. So maybe there isn't a black book. Maybe that's 11,571 pages that describe clients lists. We don't know. They won't give us the information. This is government evidence that we can't see. There are two reasons that you suppress information in a court case like this. One, to protect an innocent victim. Two, to protect national security. This is not a national. Oh, wait a minute. That might be next Monday's show, or maybe the last half of this show. This may actually be, well, it's not a national security issue, but they might be thinking it is because it's deep state security, protecting the deep state. Oh, I am not happy with this. But what this means here is either the courts are just absolutely totally a dumpster fire, as Natasha likes to do with her dumpster fire icons, or emojis. The courts are just in dire need of being totally erased and started all over again, which I don't know how we do that. And where do you find the people that are going to do this correctly? This country doesn't even know what justice looks like anymore. Principled justice. Principles, what are those? Oh, that's the guy who runs my school system. No, idiot. It means a belief system, around, or set of rules around a belief system that you do not violate. You think it's morality and eternal truth. Oh, wow. Well, I thought it was money I made off of, the money I had invested or in a loan or something, the principle. Equivocation everywhere. Yeah, I'm a little riled up today. Another one. Epstein horrors, official sleight of hand about millions of pages of unreleased evidence. It's not all child porn, and it's not all destroyed. But I thought that there was no black book or no record or no. Why hasn't this been made public? Why? Well, I know why it hasn't been made public. I decided not to share this meme with you, but there's one on the internet. It says, why haven't the Epstein files been made public? Let's publicize every one of them. And then the other guy says, but don't you understand that that's going to get everybody, Democrats, Republicans, the whole deep state, the entire system will collapse. And the first guy goes, hey, look, man, I already told you I want to release them. You don't have to sell me on this. And the idea being that I don't care if it burns the whole thing down. Put it out there. I'm in that camp, man. You don't have to sell me on this about all the destruction it'll cause. Bring it on. Comment on the board from Aaron Spike says, I want to know how you traffic humans to nobody. Call me dumb, but there has to be a list of clients or something showing me who and Maxwell's traffic these girls and boys too. Yes. And in that world, in the organized crime like that, the mafia and organized crime keep very detailed records because that's leverage. And leverage is usually a much more effective system of a way of getting people to do things or not do things for you than just bribes. If I want to leverage a principled person in the government, if I want them to commit treason, hey, here, $500 million. No, I'm not going to do it. Okay, here, you do what I want or your wife and daughter die today because we now have them. Well, he's going to commit treason because you got leverage on him. You got leverage that works. Okay. Well, here's $50 million, Senator so-and-so, vote this way. No, I ain't going to do that. It's against my... Oh, wait a minute. What's this? There's videos of me diddling little kids and boys. Little boys and little girls. They're 8, 9-year-olds. Oh, crap. What do you mean you filmed that? And Mr. Epstein goes, it doesn't matter anymore. You're going to vote the way I tell you to, or this is going to find its way to your wife and to the media. And Senator so-and-so, if you're a Democrat, I'm going to send it to CNN and the New York Times. If you're a Republican, I'm going to send it to Fox News and, Rush Limbaugh or Bongino or whoever the heck it is, Hannity. Of course, Hannity would probably hide it, but now that I know something what's going, Bongino might be the only one I trust right now. We'll get to that. But the idea that we have no reason to worry about this. No. Okay, you got the Trump administration. If it had been Obama administration doing this one, we'd be all over it. Look, cover up. But if it's the Trump administration, MAGA doesn't care because, breaking. Another massive Epstein bombshell. Well, we know now. We got the video. He hung himself in the upper room. Media narrative is destroyed. Epstein's body confirmed in his room on upper level L tier where he was killed, not the lower level floor shown in the video. And the video has been doctored. We now know this, or at least they say it has been. We that's what we have to go on. So we have a doctored video. Conspiracy! Why isn't anybody yelling at Trump for this? Trump. Oh, well, Pam Bondian. No. Who does Bondi work for? Donald Trump. Who does Kash Patel work for? Donald Trump. Who does Dan Bongino work for? Donald Trump. The buck stops with him. You don't blame his minions. You blame him. Him. He's the one that told us that there were, Epstein files, a black book. He was going to release it all for us. He was going to release the JFK stuff. JFK stuff gets released and they claim, see, nothing to see. Warren Commission was right. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I've known that was a lie from the very beginning because I'm a pretty darn good shooter. I couldn't have done that from that position with that weapon and ammunition. And, well, he was a Marine Corps marksman. Yeah, that meant that we're on the rifle range and somebody was going, crap, he missed again. We call it number 2 pencil qualified for a reason in the Marine Corps. His badge is called a toilet bowl for a reason. Every Marine wears the marksman badge or you can't get off the rifle range. The whole unit stays until he gets qualified as marksman, which is why when we're in the butts marking his target, we start poking holes in the bullseye so we can go home. He was not a good shooter. Tell me otherwise. I challenge you to change my mind. I've been there. I know what that stupid toilet bowl means. Comment from Mr. Quest, or Mr. Conquest here. He says, and now think how crazy it would be for these people who are blackmailed to have Jeffrey Epstein, who they thought was dead, to show back up, as we still believed he is dead. Well, I'm with you on that one, because you know how I showed you that there are more than one Biden because I was comparing his earlobes, kind of like fingerprints. Well, the picture of his body when they took him out, the one they published, it's coincidence, man. They had his face and all covered up. Everything was covered, but they had the blanket pulled back over his left ear. If you cover up every part of his body, but the sheets pulled back to expose his left ear, why would you do that? So I went and I found that picture of his left ear of the body coming out. And I found a picture of Epstein that is reportedly to be really Epstein, where I could see his left ear, and they're not the same ear pattern. Do what you will with that. Okay. Comment from Natasha says, what if they know he's still alive? Yeah, that's a very good question, Natasha. We'll handle that at another time. So now Trump says, get over it. There's nothing to see here. And Bill Riley claims Trump told him the reason why the Epstein files will not be released. I don't care what O'Reilly claims. The headline now is the story. Now, I can't, was it Laura Ingraham or one of those blonde talking heads that left Fox and started her own? She's okay. But they're telling her, don't go Candace Owens on us now because she's on to Trump's butt. Matt Walsh is on his butt. Carlson's on his butt. Bill O'Reilly's on his butt. All these people pushed out of Fox. Well, that's because you can't trust them anymore. No, I say that's because we can trust them. If you're still at Fox, we can't trust you. Because Fox is owned and operated and pushed by liberals pushing a liberal agenda with right-wing progressive propaganda. They have to be a little slicker about it, but they do the same thing the left does. It's just that because the language sounds like it's anti-democrat, you get smoothed into accepting the narrative, where if you could just remove your emotions from it for a minute and step back, you realize they're running cover for the deep state just as much as the left is. I realized that a while back as well. Mr. Quest says, personally think Osama and Jeffrey Epstein and both still alive because they were working for the CIA. I don't know about Osama working for the CIA. Maybe. I'm not going to get into that. But the Epstein CIA connection, don't get ahead of the class. But here's the thing. So, okay, I'm not supposed to trust O'Reilly, who I generally trust. I'm not supposed to trust Tucker Carlson, who I don't always agree with, which is why I trust Tucker. I don't always agree with Bill, which is why I trust Bill. I'm not supposed to trust. Folks, I'm sorry. I can't remember her name. I don't mean to be rude about this, but I can see her face. I can't remember her name, but Kelly, Megyn Kelly. They're saying she's false MAGA. No, she's principled. I know she is. I trust her because I don't always agree with her. And they're all saying the same things. They're saying there is something here. It's being hidden. And they're saying, Trump, you promised this. Now we get into the big stuff. Kash Patel's post. He posts a statement on conspiracy theories and saying that the FBI, after their leak drama over Epstein files, Bongino, blah, 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 blah. Well, what do we got here? Whoops. Nope, not that one. Go here. Not that one. Hold on. I don't know how the heck that happened. Let me dump this. You're leaving me to operate technology on my own. Y'all people shouldn't be doing that out there. Natasha and Charlie. All right, here it is. From his X file, Kash Patel. Blue check. This is Kash. The conspiracy theories just aren't true. Never have been. It's an honor to serve President of the United States, real Donald Trump, and I'll continue to do so for as long as he calls on me. This is Kash Patel. With that statement, Kash Patel did something that I was hoping I'd never hear him or see him do. Kash Patel stuck his hand in the air and said, I am a liar. I am a liar. You can't trust a thing out of my mouth now. I'm deep state. No, he didn't, Joe. That's not what he said. Oh, yes, it is. Where do you get that at, Joe? How do you get there? Oh, easy. I remember this video. This is from Blaze Media. Watch. Flashback to Glenn's 2023 Kash Patel interview exposing the Epstein narrative shift. What does that mean? Well, if you watch that video, Kash said, this is Kash Patel back in 2023, during which Patel insisted he knew exactly who possessed Epstein's infamous Black Book. Not the broader case files Attorney General Pam Bondi later clarified were actually sitting on her desk for review. Patel pointedly said Black Book and vowed he knew who was hiding it. And he just got done, Xing, tweeting out, it's been a conspiracy theory, always has. You can no longer trust Kash Patel. Take his book, that I bought, Government Gangsters, and stick it over in the propaganda shelf. Might have a lot of truth in it, but you can't trust a dang thing in it anymore. Kash Patel is now deep state, and he cannot save himself. You should never trust that man again, no matter what. Even if he's being honest, never trust him. Don't, because he just lied to you. Bold-faced lied to you. Mr. Quest says, is anyone aware of what Julian Assange said on why the FBI will not release the information? No, I haven't heard that, but then again, I haven't looked into it. So where are we now? Well, there's one more in this. It's Dan Bongino. And there's something in the reported information on Bongino. Bongino hasn't posted anything, not that I've seen yet. But Bongino is saying, Bondi goes or I go. And he says, if I go, I'm going to burn her to the ground. Dershowitz says he's seen the list as well. There's a number of, yes, Connie, I'm sorry. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name. I put it up there on the board, but Miss Connie says Dershowitz has the list. Well, he's actually seen the list because he's involved in a court case. He was involved in a court case that gave him right of discovery. So he had to be shown the list. And he's out there telling us it exists. We know it. We've seen it. So now all of a sudden Trump says it doesn't exist. Patel says it doesn't exist. Bondi, they're lying. They're lying. Donald is lying to you. Bondi's lying to you. Trump is Patel is lying to you. Bongino maybe still has his integrity because we'll have to wait and see. If Bongino goes back to work, I'm not going to trust him anymore either. Well, Joe, he has to work within I'm tired of that. I'm going to hell to overthrow the devil. It's not going to work, dude. The devil's in charge down. Well, technically he's not if you're doing the Bible, but the Dante's Inferno version of that story. He's in charge. You're not going to overthrow him. You can claim you are, but you're not him. It's not going to happen. You're not going to overthrow the deep state from working with inside it. You got to get outside of it and blow it up. All you do when you work from within it is keep your friends close and your enemies closer, and that's all they're doing. So no, tired of that. That means you're unprincipled. If you're willing to serve evil to try and do the greater good, you've just sold yourself one of the biggest lies in the world. Now, Mr. Bongino, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have to take his book and put that over in you're going to have to prove to me you're still for real, Dan. I don't trust you anymore. I don't. It's a sad thing to say, but there are very few people I trust anymore. Why? Let me show you something. Matt Walsh has this one right. If I get this thing to come up on the board. Matt Walsh has it right. Says, I've come back from vacation to learn that Epstein apparently wasn't an international child sex trafficker, even though he was arrested for being one. There is no client list, even though the attorney general said she had it on her desk. He did kill himself, even though the video, quote unquote, proving this point was edited. No prominent or powerful people are implicated, even though dozens of them flew on his plane to his pedophile island. And the whole issue doesn't matter, so we should move on and never talk about it again. Wow. Well, I'm glad that's settled. That's Donald Trump's position. That is Donald Trump's official position. I don't trust it. Excuse me. I have recently been made aware that I need to work on my witness with my language. I've been trying to catch myself because this past weekend I realized the admonition was correct. I do. I've got to work on my language. I no longer care what anybody tells me. Donald Trump has forever ruined his credibility with me, and I don't think he can get it back. Because now that I know he's an open, bald-faced liar, and he's willing to attack his supporters and tell them to pound sand, move on, or you've never been a supporter of mine. Folks, that's called a cult. If I'm supposed to believe what the one person tells me, and if I don't, now I'm an enemy of that group, that's called a cult, which means MAGA is a cult, just like the left claimed it was. So if you're claiming to be MAGA, do not come to me and say, well, I'm not a cultist. Yes, you are. By definition. Do we remember the logic lessons I've tried to teach you now? Form and function. You fit the form. And if you're MAGA saying, well, you can't criticize Donald, blah, 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 and you're making excuses for him, you're fitting the function. Cult members follow Cheeto Jesus Saves. And if anybody says anything bad about Cheeto Jesus, you defend him. That's the function. The form is a sloven, rabid follower, no matter what, who protects their icon. Form and function. Cult, by definition. If you don't like it, do the same thing I've told the Democrats to do. Spit yourself out of that mess. Wake up. Get out of the matrix. If you attack me, bring it. Game on. All you're going to do is entertain me. If you've been here any length of time, you should know this by now. If you don't trust me on that, ask Charlie and Natasha. They'll give me a second and third witness on this one. Coming at me about, you're wrong about Matt. Oh, red meat, Jack. Game on. I can do this all day long, and I'll laugh at it the whole way. I'll enjoy it because you're wrong. And I'll pull the wings off you, you little fly. You're either principled or you're not. If your man goes rogue or your man proves to you that he's lying to you on a pivotal point, one of the main reasons you're supporting him, kind of like, we're going to get rid of all the illegals. Oh, except the people who are working in agriculture and hospitality, the hotels, because, they can't function without. So what we'll do is we'll make a worker program where we make those illegals legal. You lied to me again, Donald. Well, I'm going to get rid of all the rhinos. And now I'm going to support, the guy who went and violated the Logan Act. What's his name? Lindsey Graham or whatever. But now he's a good guy now. Since when, Donald? You've done that with 2 or 3 people. You support rhinos. It's all because as long as I get my win. Well, it isn't a win. Well, if I call it a win, it's a win. No, Donald, that's not a win. You took everything out of it. It's still a win. Why? Because I said it wasn't. If you don't agree with me, you're not MAGA. Get out of here. Hello, Mr. Trump. And yeah, I did that on purpose. MAGA, hello. Have we lost the audience yet there, Charlie?
Let's see. No, they're still there, but this is one of those shows that there is a long. No, it had to carry over because it was too long for YouTube. John Quest posted the quote from Assange there. If you'd like to address that one.
Well, is it a useful thing or is it a good thing or nah? Well, if it's real long, hold on. This one, Mr. Quest says the reason the FBI wouldn't let the Epstein client list come out in court is because if they did, their blackmail would no longer be useful and the CIA would lose control over all of the blah, blah, blah. I don't see the rest of it. All of the powerful people they spent decades setting up. Stop getting ahead of the lesson plan. Stick him in the corner. Put the dunce cap on him. He's interrupting the show. Yes, I get it. I agree with you. I understand. Which is actually the next piece here from Glenn Beck. 5 disturbing takeaways from the Epstein memo, July 9th, 2025. This is a few months ago. Attorney General Pam Bondi said she had Epstein's client list on her desk, and she did. She told the truth. Now that you have no proof, Joe. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Let's just stick this here for the moment. Where's your proof? Well, it's not proof I can bring into a court of law. Logical proof. It's not deductive proof. It's an inductive proof. Have we taught you how to do that? Circumstantial evidence. This is a case of when the slippery slope is not a fallacy. Slippery slope is like, well, if you start with marijuana, you're going to end up doing hard drugs and eventually die from an overdose. Well, that's slippery slope. That's saying it's necessary that if you start smoking marijuana, you will necessarily die from an overdose. Just because you smoke marijuana doesn't mean you're going to go to Harvard. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to. That's a fallacy. However, if I tell you this is the pattern that we normally see in XYZ cases, and in XYZ case in the past, it has always led to this conclusion. So I am now seeing the pattern again. I'm going to conclude that this is what it means. That's not slippery slope because that's based on past patterns that have fit your conclusion. That's called circumstantial evidence. It's an indirect argument, and that's valid. So what we have going on here is I have seen this stuff claimed by many, many people to have had it. Now, all of a sudden, when Trump needs a distraction from something, we have a Epstein flat eating up all the oxygen in the room. What's really going on? And this time it's Donald doing it. Well, the deep state has to have the media behind them to help them do this, which suggests to me that Donald is now working with the deep state. You heard me, MAGA. I told you several times in the past that it is entirely, Charlie, do you remember me telling everybody that it is entirely possible that Donald Trump is a rope-a-dope?
Yep.
You remember me saying that on the show?
Yep.
I am seeing indications that
it's in the archives.
He's roped the dope. Yep. I'm seeing indications he's roped the dopes. MAGA. Seeing indications of it. If you don't like it, neither do I. You think I'm happy about this? You don't understand me. You don't know me. So, Mr. Beck, he's the Epstein case isn't over. He says, we're just going to hit the 5 points. Epstein wasn't a lone predator. He isn't. I would not be surprised if you found connections between him and P. Diddy, or that P. Diddy took over for him. 2, the digital footprint is too large. Yes, there is a huge digital footprint. None of this has been properly exposed by anybody yet. Number 3, intel agency involvement is no longer a fringe theory. Dude, Epstein was working for the CIA. It fits the pattern. 3, the system's silence is telling. Oh, yeah. If you know how the agencies work, the fact that they ain't saying anything is a confession. 5, every elite institution is on trial. That's the thing that Mr. Quest was telling you that Julian Assange pointed out. They're going to lose everything. Well, what are they going to lose? This. You are in the middle of a color revolution. That's what this is. Which phase of the color revolution are we in? These are all the yellow and orange. These are protests. These are terrorist attacks is what they are. They're terrorist attacks. But we can't call them terrorist attacks. That's something else we'll have to get to on another day. But you're in the middle of a revolution. Overthrow the country revolution. Nobody sees it. Unless, of course, you have some background in how this works and the patterns that you should be looking for and what to expect to come next. This is what Soros helped do. Crashing countries. This is what the CIA is the one who invented color. No, Joe, it was the communists. Are you sure about that? Or did they just get blamed for it? So, because if you don't think that the CIA has been working with the communists from its inception, we have to do another show, and we probably will next Monday. We'll get into the Epstein conspiracy stuff, and I am going to introduce you to a man called Wild Bill Donovan and an organization called the OSS, the precursor to the CIA, which would then give us the FBI and NSA and eventually 17 different intelligence agencies within the federal government alone. That's your deep state right there, folks. That's your American Gestapo. Yep. And they have their tentacles into everything. And we might touch on that Monday, have a conspiracy theory Monday. So Bondi has lied to us, in my opinion. Can I prove it in a court of law? Not with what we have available to us in the press. Can I prove it through an indirect circumstantial evidence argument? Oh, yes, I can. I can make a strong inductive argument for this. I can now tell you, per his own mouth, Kash Patel is an admitted liar. Do not trust a word he says. Dan Bongino, we have to wait and see. If he is still working for the FBI and Bondi doesn't get fired, don't trust Dan anymore. He's ruined his credibility. Get rid of him. If you're going to chase the truth, you have to be willing to cut loose the people you thought were your allies, your closest friends and family. I think I remembered that somewhere. If you're going to follow me, I'm going to separate father from son and daughter from mother. You know, capital T truth. I am the truth, the light and the way, the life and the way, and all this other good stuff. The way and the life. The OSS becomes the CIA. I think it's the year it's organized, 1942. It started working with the mafia in Italy, specifically Sicily. And its ties to organized crime have remained ever since. Why did it do that? To help the Allies with the invasion of Sicily in 1943, Operation Husky. And it stayed in organized crime ever since. It's fascism. It's a form of fascism. And we need to look at that. We need to look at it. And we're gonna wrap the show up. There's not going to be a second hour today. For a reason. If you follow a person, a human being, if you're a respecter of people, they will fail you every time. If you're a respecter of ideals and principles, you'll fail yourself. There's only one thing that I can trust now that will never fail me, and that's my God, Yahweh, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not according to Muhammad, but according to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He'll never fail me. I might fail him. He will never fail me. But now, if I have principles, ideals and principles, a target to shoot at, and a set of guidelines to help me hit the target, like in the Marine Corps, marksmanship. I have a 12-inch target to hit, and I have shooting principles. It's called sight alignment and sight picture. They teach you how to do it. Breath control. If Wade Stavely's on the show with us today, he'll understand this. He was a sniper. I mean, I know Aaron Spikes understands it. He was taught marksmanship. Those are principles. Those are practices or general rules or guidelines that you go by to help you hit your target. We have the 10 Commandments to help us keep from sinning, because that's what sin means. Miss the target, off the mark. The target is, God's way of doing things. The 10 Commandments are the principles that help you do them right, to help you hit the target. It's center bull, center mass. So if you're principled and you have a person who is leading you and they screw up, If they're principled, they will confess their sin, admit their fault, ask for forgiveness, and get back on target. Trump doesn't ask for forgiveness because he's, quote unquote, never done anything he needs forgiveness for. He's perfect, which is one of the reasons. And then with his orange tan, that is why Steve Day started calling him Cheeto Jesus. He's not just making fun of Trump. He's being honest. You think he's a savior because he's perfect. His own words, not mine. Or don't you remember this? So you can't, if you're MAGA and you say you're principled and you're going to still follow Donald, who has not apologized for this, admitted his wrongs in this and apologized and explained it satisfactorily and asked for forgiveness, and you're going to still follow him, you're following Cheeto Jesus and you are in a cult and you are unprincipled because you just proved to me that you will bend your principles for a man or a woman rather than your ideal. And that was the point of this show. I used Epstein and Trump to make the point, but the point of this show is a logic lesson. If you are willing to compromise, you're not principled. If you fail and you trip up and break one of your principles, well, that's okay. As long as you get back up, dust, admit, confess your sin, to yourself, you are in this case, and get back on the path and start walking according to your principles again. This is what Jefferson meant rather when he said, raise a banner that they can repair. In other words, leave a record of what the founders were trying to do, why, and how they tried to do it, so that in the future, when we stumble and forget our way, we can go back to it. We can be like Ezra and Nehemiah, and we can go back to the principles of what the faith used to be, and we can restore it. In this case, restore the Constitution the way it was supposed to be, the Declaration of Independence, et cetera, et cetera. We don't do that anymore. That would require us to look in the mirror and say, you're wrong. You've messed up. You've supported bad people. You've been a bad person. You've pushed things that shouldn't have been pushed. We will not do that. That requires us to be humble, teachable, bend our knee. We will not do that. We refuse. Why? Because we don't care about capital T truth. We only care about little t truth. Your truth is not my truth. The universe is formed by our perception. I'm my own little God. I make my... Yeah, you're right smack in the middle of 2 Thessalonians 2. Take it to the house. Talk to the hand. I don't want to hear it. I get enough of that crap coming out of my own mirror. I don't need yours. Yeah, I do this to myself all the time. We rationalize why I got to break this principle. Why? For the greater good. Got to vote for the lesser evil, or the greater evil will take over. Congratulations, you're the greater evil to the one you call the greater evil. And you can't see it. Why? Because you don't understand evil. I'm very guilty of this. I'm not claiming innocence. Nope. Got a long record of telling you that I'm a screwed up knucklehead. I'm trying to learn from my past mistakes and not repeat them in the future. I'm working on the idiot monster in my mirror. Are you? Or do you take offense with me calling it an idiot monster in your mirror? Because I got a little newsflash for you, boys and girls. We're all human, which means we are all idiot monsters. The ones who get offended by that, well, they think that they can perfect themselves. Congratulations. You are an unconstrained theorist, which makes you a progressive, which makes you the man of lawlessness. Capital M, meaning the human being of lawlessness. So let me ask you, I don't have the meme today, but Brother Aaron, what am I thinking, bro? How's your spiritual warfare going? It's about principles. Do you have them or not? I trusted Patel until he lied to me this past week. Now I know I can't trust a thing he told me in the past because I don't know whether he was lying then or now, or both. Which means if Patel and Bongino are going to become kumbaya all of a sudden again, after talking to Trump, I'm not going to trust Bongino ever again, and I'll never trust Donald. And here's the thing, principle. If Donald came out and said, folks, I screwed up. The Epstein file list does exist. In my opinion, it would do way too much damage to the nation. It would harm innocent people as well as the guilty. And I don't think that we as a nation are prepared to handle it. I messed up. I'll promise to do better in the future. Please forgive me. I might actually have respect for him then. And I might start giving him the benefit of the doubt again. But nowhere does it mean that I have to forgive and forget. I will remember it. And I'll be quick to question him again in the future when I suspect that he might be backsliding again. And if you're a Christian, what, am I my brother's keeper? Yes, you are. Jesus tells you you're supposed to help your brother and sister. When they backslide, you let them know they're backsliding, you pick them up, you help restore them, and you get them back on the right path. So that when you stumble and fall off the path and start backsliding, they'll do the same for you. We watch each other's back, or at least we're supposed to. As citizens in what's supposed to be a self-governing republic, we should do the same thing for each other as well. We don't. We pick sides and pick teams. I'm a D, I'm an R. I'm a Trumpite. Well, he's a rhino. And we assign people. And in the end, it's just a matter of, are you principled or not? If you are, show me your target. What are you shooting at? What are your core ideals? Then I'll be able to tell whether or not you're principled. If your principles don't help you hit the target, you're a liar to me and yourself. It's that simple. And that's all I have for today. Charlie, Natasha, anybody else on the board?
You didn't even talk about Donald Trump as a lizard man.
Oh,
it's all right.
Hold on.
I'm just joking around. There we go.
Charlie wanted me to address this. I'm going to shock people. I don't think he's a lizard man, but I think the lizard men exist. Only I don't think they're lizard men. I think they're seraphim. What? Yeah. Higher order of angels. I think they're the seraphim of the fallen angels. And they've been let out of the pit. And they've come back and they've told people like Donald and Obama and Bush, hey, we're from the planet whatever. We're going to do this to your world unless you start listening to us. And because we don't have spiritual eyes, these idiots start listening to them. Put on the sunglasses. Yeah, Aaron. So they start listening to these spiritual beings. And the next thing you know, the whole world is under a unified, coordinated, demonic control. Now, if you think that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, go find The Portent and the Facade by Michael Heiser and start reading.
Yep. Yeah, those are good.
Well, is he going to make a case where you do realize that I just paraphrased his argument.
Oh, yeah.
Only he's going to hit, those books are faction, by the way.
Yeah.
They're a lot like Michael Crichton books.
Yes.
He's telling you the truth through a fictitious story so that he can't be sued.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in there.
Yep.
A lot of truth in those two books. And oh my gosh, will that open your eyeballs to what you've missed. Also, real quick, before we're done, remember before the show and the pre-show, I told you we're talking about AGI, Grok 4, artificial general intelligence. Okay, have you ever read Prey by Michael Crichton?
I have not.
Okay, that's an old book about nanotechnology. It's been around for over 20-something years, and it can mask the way you look. It can make you look and act like another person using nanotechnology. Okay. You've read The Facade and the Portent with the nanotechnology, right?
Oh, right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
What happens when I blend AGI with nanotechnology and drones?
Oh.
Did I just show you a scary monster?
You showed me the image of the beast
end of the world
that can speak and move and
and I just showed you the end of humanity.
Yeah,
at least as we know it.
Yeah.
More on Monday with that.
Yeah, yeah. Monday sounds like it'll be a good show too. Oh,
Yeah, a week from
yeah.
now is going to be a scary day. Natasha's going to play hooky. Yes,
Wait,
ma'am.
hold up. What do you mean? What? Wait. Did you wait? Hooky? Who said I'm playing hooky on Monday? We're doing
I
my
did.
conspiracy theories, right?
Oh, but this is the type of conspiracy theory that's not theory. And it will give you nightmares if you understand what I'm going to
If
tell
you
you.
understand it, yeah.
I can convict you of murder and I'll have pictures of the body and everything. You'll even be able to touch it. But when you come back to show it to the EMPs, the body will be gone. There might be a little wet spot in the floor, but the body will be gone.
Yeah, I plan to
And
still be there.
it was a real body. I can give you any face you want, any face in the world. Perfectly. I mean, match it perfectly. And I can take one airplane, fly it over your city, and kill everybody in it. Or everybody of a certain group. I can decide I only want the people with blue eyes. And I can kill everybody with blue eyes in that city. And it'll cost me less than $25 million. And you cannot defend against it. It's done. It's a done deal. It'll happen. Once that plane dumps its cargo, you're dead.
Real quick, back to the facade and portent.
I told you she'd bail. Go ahead.
No, I actually meant to say it when I first popped in.
Okay.
That was supposed to be a trilogy, correct?
Yes, and his wife has hired a ghostwriter who was working with him and knows the material to finish the third book. So we're just waiting on it to get done. Yeah. I think there's a reason Dr. Heiser didn't want to finish that third book.
Yeah.
Didn't he receive warnings and threats or something?
Yeah.
Or do we know?
I have no doubt.
Not?
I have no doubt that he did.
I'm sure.
And by the way, folks, if you follow the UFO crap that's going on in the world right now, for real, go read these two books. For real.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah. You're going to get a crash course history lesson on Operation Paperclip.
Yeah.
On both sides of the Atlantic and the Pacific, because most people know about Europe. They have no idea about Operation Paperclip in Japan or Manchuria.
Right.
I do, and I knew about it before Dr. Heiser, but that's only because I make my living in World War II. So, anything else, Charlie?
Oh, I think this was it was a show. There's a lot of people.
Was I happy, joy enough for you?
Oh, you were just wonderful. We're so doomed.
And look,
anyway,
no donuts. Or caffeine.
No donuts or caffeine even. And
I'm drinking lemon water. Just straight lemon water, no sugar.
That's how bad this is, folks. Okay, well, I'll let you take us out of here, and I'll even have time to upload today and before I go to my appointment.
Folks, we do appreciate you for being here. I do. I don't like days like this. I hate them. Because I want to be able to have faith and confidence in my leaders. I voted for Trump. I won't do it again, or I probably won't vote for any of the people connected to him. I don't trust him anymore. There will come a time when you can't trust anything. All the foundations of the world will be shaken. And you don't know what's what anymore. I don't know about you. You do you. But for me, if I did not have my faith to ground me and to cling to, this would be a world I don't want to be part of anymore. And I could see depression and suicidal thoughts creeping into my life. And I understand the people who struggle with that now. And I have great compassion for them because I know how they get there. I'm different. I'm broken. I've always wanted to see the monster for who and what it really is. Naked, out in the open, no matter how scary it is. And then deal with reality as best as I can understand it. I fail most of the time. When I joke with you doing these things and I seem like it's glee, that's the military in me. And those of you who were in the military, you understand this. You do one of two things in the military. Well, one of three. You either get out, you get destroyed, or you develop one of the most twisted, perverted senses of humor that exists in the world. Doesn't mean that you become evil, but you grow cold and you get a twisted, perverted sense of humor to a lot of things that would just cause most people to, recoil in horror. It's a defense mechanism. I have it because of the things I read and the things I know, the things I've acquired over time. I had to have that sense of humor or I would not be able to. I couldn't live with what I know. I share pieces of it with you. I don't give you all the details. I give you the books or the authors or the sources of this information. I leave it for you to decide whether or not you want to chase that rabbit down the hole on your own. Because I know what you're going to find there. Some of your classmates, like Water Jug once, Mr. Holt, he once chased a rabbit down a hole that I sticked him on. He came back and said, yep, found exactly what Joe told me I'd find. I've done it with Charlie. I've sent him down rabbit holes, and he's come back and told me, found exactly what you told me I'd find. It's not that I'm some sort of, blah, blah, blah. It's just that I try to be honest for myself. If we were all to work on the person in our mirror in the same way, whether we agreed or not, if you are a hard leftist, you're just a dyed-in-the-wool Marxist communist, if you can rationally defend that position, I'll learn to live with you. I'll never agree with you, but I'll learn to live with you. The problem is you cannot rationally defend Marxist position. It goes against natural law. It goes against reality. So you can try to give me a rational argument, but by the time I get done critiquing it, we're going to have a bucket load of fallacies on our hands. And your argument will be unsound, invalid, and irrational. But if you can work on a worldview for yourself that creates a sound, valid, and rational worldview, something that you can objectively and rationally defend, then we don't have to agree with each other. Because whether or not we have different flavors of it, we'll end up in the same ballpark. And for the most part, we'll end up with a laissez-faire attitude. You do me, I'll do me. You do you, I'll do me, and we'll leave each other alone. Live and let live. Almost always. I disagree with the libertarians a great deal, but they end up in that same area. So do I. And I'm not a libertarian for good reason, in my opinion. We just try to help you acquire the tools and demonstrate how we think through some of these things on this show so that you can do this for yourself. It's of great value if you'll put the work in it, but it isn't easy. It's work. It's a lot of head work, a lot of thinking. Most people don't want anything to do with it. If you took the time and you practiced it and you studied it and you learned how to do it for 2 or 3 years, then you're going to end up sounding an awful lot like me. Not because I've brainwashed you, simply because you've elevated yourself to a higher level of understanding of what you believe and why. And you'd be able to give a good defense of that. And it would make others who have never done that feel the same way about you that most people who have never done that feel about me when they first encounter me. Oh, he's arrogant, elitist, condescending. Oh, no. Thought out. Thought out. Our mission here is to help others learn how to think out what they believe, to acquire their ideals, and build principles to help them live closer to those ideals. My principles and ideals, they were actually thought out and established before me. You find them here in the Holy Bible. And I can find the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence in that book as well. You may disagree. As long as you can give me sound, valid, and rational explanation of your ideals and principles, I can agree to live and let live. Because I know that if you can do that, according to reason, you're not going to be coming after me. And we can remain united, at least on the basic things. And again, that's the goal of this show. To the extent that we help, we ask that you hit the like buttons, maybe consider donating, help us keep the show going, growing, improving it a little bit. I need better lighting in this place and other things. We're trying to scrape up some money to get a new banner for the other half of our show for Charlie on his studio. And it's little stuff, but it's stuff that we don't have the money for right now. $40 banner. No, I don't have that type of leeway right now. This show does cost money to throw, up on the internet. We could use your help if you feel led to do so. So until for the Road to Concord next Monday, or if you're going to join us Wednesday on We Who Are Lost, if you do, start reading the book of Hebrews. We're going to be there. I'll put that up, your homework up on the We Who Are Lost blog page before the end of the day. But if you're going to join us Wednesday, we'll be in Hebrews. But until next time we see each other, stay safe, take care. Yahweh bless. We love you. Bye-bye.